Hey Dan, as far as the location thing goes, I would say that to begin with, you either need to only have people submit regions via something else, maybe uh, like another, maybe see if Revision 3 can help you develop a poll of some sort, um, or a place where people can just submit comments and you could either do that or you can say, okay, these are regions that I want you that you're looking for. So instead of looking for cities, you're looking for just entire regions. Like instead of saying having people say, "Oh, you should come and live in," like my example was Baltimore. You should come live in Baltimore, or you should come live in Toronto, or you should go come live in, New York City. Instead of saying that, it should be you should live in the Midwest, you should live in the Northeast, you should live in the Mid Atlantic, you should live in the South, stuff like that. And of course, different areas and stuff like Canada and that kind of stuff. I think you should also place a restriction on where specifically you're looking, because I mean, you have to face it. As great as this whole project is, you are limited by money quite a bit. So you really should say, okay, I cannot feasibly move to this area because if you put certain limitations on it, even though you really don't want to, it'll help people narrow things down. So instead of saying, oh, like everybody in Edinburgh, Scotland is, or in Belfast or anywhere like that, are like, oh well, I want him to come live in Belfast, so I'm going to vote everything that's not Belfast down. Instead of doing that, you really do need to put some restrictions on it. Um, I think then once you say that and announce that, then it'll be a lot easier to narrow things down. Because as much as you do want to give all control over to the viewers on this thing, there are this is probably going to be one of those times when your veto power, as you put it before, may need to come into play just because of feasibility. Um, because if you were to, for example, like move to Canada or move to any of these other places, it costs time and money to be able to get, you know, temporary visas and stuff, and that takes time that you may not want to spend for the duration of Dan 3.0. So I'd say, yeah, but I'm not saying, don't go to those places. I'm saying you need to put the limits on now, and that'll help us determine what we're going to be submitting. And I've talked long enough, so hopefully that makes some sense. But that's what I think. You need to set up limits now, so it'll make it easier for us later.